Ever had one of those days where getting out of bed feels like an Olympic sport? We all have. But what if it's not just a lazy day? What if it's something deeper? The alarm goes off, and instead of getting up, you hit snooze for the 5th time. You stare at your to-do list, knowing you should start, but you just don't. Is it laziness? Or is something deeper going on? If you've been feeling this way for a while, it might not just be procrastination. It could be a sign of depression. Here are 8 ways to tell if what you're experiencing is more than just laziness. Number 1. You can't snap yourself out of it. Laziness is usually temporary. You have a lazy afternoon, maybe a lazy weekend, but then something pushes you back into action. A deadline, a burst of motivation, a friend dragging you out of the house. With depression, it's not that simple. No matter how many self-help books you read, how many get-motivated videos you watch, or how many people tell you to just snap out of it, you can't. Depression is not a choice, and it's not something you can just shake off. It's a mental health condition that often requires professional treatment and sometimes medication. If your lack of motivation lasts for weeks or months, despite your efforts, it's time to take it seriously. Number 2, you can't cheer yourself up. When you're just feeling lazy, sometimes a little reward does the trick. A cup of coffee, a favorite TV show, or a fun night out with friends can lift your spirits. But depression doesn't work like that. Even things that used to make you happy, your hobbies, your favorite foods, spending time with loved ones, might feel empty. It's as if someone turned down the brightness on your life, and nothing you do seems to bring the color back. If you've noticed that nothing is making you feel better, no matter how hard you try, it might be a sign of something deeper than just laziness. Number 3, you've lost interest in everything. One of the biggest red flags of depression is losing interest in things you once loved. If you used to love reading, playing games, or hanging out with friends, but now none of it excites you, it's worth paying attention to. Laziness might make you avoid things because you don't feel like doing them. But with depression, it's not just about avoiding, it's about no longer caring. That passion, that excitement, that feeling of this is fun disappears. And the scariest part? You don't even miss it. It's like your brain has convinced you that nothing matters anymore. Number 4, you can't function like you used to. Everyone has off days. Maybe you procrastinate on a work project or push off cleaning your room for too long. But when everyday tasks start to feel impossible, that's a warning sign. If getting out of bed, showering, making food, or even answering a simple text feels like climbing a mountain, it's not just laziness. Depression can make even the smallest tasks feel overwhelming. Psychologists use something called the 4 Ds to diagnose mental health conditions: deviance, distress, danger, and dysfunction. If your laziness is actually interfering with your ability to function, it's time to ask for help. Number 5, your lack of motivation isn't triggered by anything. Laziness usually has a cause. Maybe you didn't sleep well, you're stressed about work, or you just don't like the task at hand. But with depression, there's often no clear reason why you feel the way you do. It sneaks up on you, sometimes out of nowhere. One day you're fine. The next, everything feels heavy, dull, and exhausting. This randomness is a big clue that what you're dealing with isn't just a passing phase. Depression doesn't always need a reason to show up. It just does. Number 6, you feel constantly tired and drained. Ever notice how laziness often comes with a little bit of guilt? You think, I should be doing something, but you choose not to. Depression, on the other hand, doesn't always feel like a choice. It feels like exhaustion, deep, bone-crushing exhaustion that doesn't go away with sleep. No matter how much you rest, you still feel tired. Your body feels sluggish, your mind feels foggy, and even thinking about doing something feels like too much effort. If this kind of fatigue is happening to you regularly, it might not just be laziness, it could be depression. Number 7, you struggle with feelings of guilt and worthlessness. Laziness is often met with an, oh well, I'll do it later attitude. But depression comes with a much harsher inner dialogue. Instead of just thinking, I'll do it later, you start thinking, I'm useless, I can't do anything right. Why am I even trying? You beat yourself up over every little thing. You feel like a failure, even if nothing is actually wrong. This kind of self-criticism is a hallmark of depression, and it's a major warning sign that what you're experiencing is more than just a lack of motivation. Number 8, Your laziness feels more like a heavy weight. The final and most important distinction: laziness feels like a choice, but depression feels like a weight. A heavy, invisible weight pressing down on you, making everything feel slow, difficult, and exhausting. It's not about not wanting to do things. It's about feeling like you physically, mentally, and emotionally can't. That's why depression is so misunderstood. People think it's just a matter of willpower, but it's not. If you feel like there's a constant heaviness in your life that you can't shake, you might need more than just a pep talk. You might need help. You may be thinking, what's next? If any of this sounds familiar, please know that you're not alone. Depression is incredibly common, and there is help available. Talking to a mental health professional can make a huge difference. Therapy, medication, lifestyle changes, and support from loved ones can all help lift that weight. If you're unsure whether what you're experiencing is depression, consider reaching out for professional guidance. It's easy to mistake depression for laziness, but they are not the same. Laziness is a temporary state. Depression is a serious condition that deserves attention and care. If you or someone you know is struggling, please don't ignore it. There is hope, and there is help. Depression can make you feel like you're stuck in a never-ending fog, but I promise you, there is light on the other side. It may not feel like it right now, but things do get better. The weight you're carrying isn't permanent, and you don't have to carry it alone. Small steps, even the tiniest ones, can lead to big changes over time. And if you ever feel like you can't take those steps by yourself, reach out. Whether it's to a friend, a family member, or a professional. You are not broken, you are not alone, and you are absolutely worth the effort it takes to heal. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on mental health and well-being. Let's break the stigma, support each other, and spread awareness. If you know someone who might need to hear this, send it their way. You never know who might need a little encouragement today. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.